Hello friends, welcome back to the new tutorial of the Flask. Today we are going to learn about the app routing in Flask Python. So those who haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe my channel, and if you like the video, please do like, share and comment on my video. Let's get started. So the routing in a Flask application refers to the process of mapping the URLs. So whatever the URLs you want to redirect or want to check, that we require the Flask app routing. Okay, to the functions that handles those URLs. Okay, in a Flask you define routes using the @app route, yes, decorator. So to get the routing part, so app.route is required as with the help of decorator, where app is an instance of the Flask class. So this is the instance of the Flask class, right? So basic requirement, basic this one. So here you can see that let me go and just add this code, so you will get to know more understanding on that note. So here we have to just update the code. Okay, so here you can see that what I did. So import the Flask, now create the Flask application instance, define a route, that function to handle this one. If I put the slash, that it will print hello world. If I another route, I need to define like about page, so it will return this one. You can also return the HTML template also, okay, which we'll discuss later on. So define a route with a dynamic parameter. If you want to make a dynamic parameter with a string like this, you can make it like this also. If you have something like id, post id or something, that part will do like this one. Okay, let's post 1, post 2, post 3, something like this. Okay, so this is the basic routing. Let's save it and run this project. Okay, so here we go with this one. So Flask run, so this is the development server. Let's open it, and if I put the about page, so it will go with the about, right? And there is a post page, right? So post slash 1. So here you can see that the post id is 1, so because we require such kind of routings. So here you can see that post id is 3, and here you can see that something like this not found because it's required the integer. So this is, you can say, about the string. So I will add like something like this, it will print like this. Okay, so and rest of the things is logging over here, right? So if you have something like this with id, so you can make it route like this. Okay, and user, so here you can see that we have a use and how to call it. So whatever parameter you are trying to sending over here, you should make it like this. Okay, so here we have sending the id, so make the print of this one. To assess the variable like this, you can just call the variable like this. Okay, save this. Let's make the username. So the rest of the url is user, and here I need to print that Rajni 90, that is username. So you can see that user profile is Rajni 90. So whenever you have something like this routing part, so you can do like this. Okay, with a dynamic parameter. Next, see what is the next one. So this is the basic one, routing. Okay, Flask provides the built-in converters for handling the different data types in the URLs, like int, float, path variable. Okay, so these are the syntax that you have to make it in your mind. Okay, so capture integer, capture floating point, captures any path segment, including the slashes. Okay, next, we have already discussed this one. There is another point, that is add url. Okay, so in Flask, add url is an alternative way to define the routes. So there's an alternative way for defining the routes or the endpoints for your application. Instead of using decorators like app.route, you can use the url rule method to dynamically add routes to your Flask application. Add rule add url rule method is called on the Flask application instance app, accepts the following parameters. First of all, the, the URL rule as a string. This defines the URL path of the endpoint. Then we have an endpoint, the endpoint name. This is a string that the Flask uses internally to identify the endpoint. Then we have a view function. The view function that should be called when the endpoint is assessed. Okay, so methods, an optional list of HTTP methods, whether it's to be get, post or something you can define. So let's take an example, then you will much more define on that one. Okay, so here we go with the code. So let me copy this code and let's paste this to understand the logic. Okay, so here we have the Flask import, create the Flask instance, then define a view function. So here we have a view function. Okay, index hello world. So add a route using the add url rule. So app dot add url rule on the slash index. Okay, so here you can see that we have mentioned the index and this is the function. Okay, so function define index literal hello world. So when I do the add URL rule, what I have explained, so here we go with this one. So I think basic definition of that one I haven't added. So basically add URL rule method is a Flask application. So what first we have the rule, the URL rule as a string, then the endpoint, then the view function. Okay, so endpoint and the view function. So this is view function, you can see that. Okay, so let's try to run this and restart the server. And here we go with this one. If I try to reload with this one, okay, so here you can see that on the index this function is called and it will print the hello world. Okay, so you can also use the add URL rule, which expects the parameter to be rule, endpoint and the function. Okay, next, do we have something? So here we have the index. Here you can see that this is index part, right? So index string is used as the endpoint name, which the Flask will use to reference this endpoint internally. Okay, so this is how we are able to do the routing in our Flask Python application. Any doubt, any query in that, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.